Welcome back, Devils fans. It is your host, Ace, here on Running with the Devils, where we are talking New Jersey Devils hockey all year long. Please hit that subscribe button, smash the like, share with a friend. Thank you very much. And friends, it has been a painful, tumultuous season. As you all know, our beloved New Jersey Devils, barring the miracle of all miracles, and by miracle of all miracles, I mean winning pretty much all but maybe 2 or 3 of the remaining 22 games, I believe, will not, unfortunately, be going to the playoffs. I personally did not have this on my bingo card. I know many of you did not. As you all know, I was super high on this team in the offseason. Obviously was completely wrong. I mean, there's an asterisk, obviously, Chicago cut, but was high on the team in the offseason heading into the season. The season quickly got away from us. I pressed the panic button a couple months ago, personally. And here we are. The New Jersey Devils will not make the playoffs. The mission of Eastern Conference Finals or bust. Clearly busted, and here we are. Got to get through the rest of the schedule. We have the trade deadline on Friday. Obviously, a lot of people, I'm going to talk about that in a second, but a lot of people speculating on what may or may not happen leading up to that. And obviously, we have the aftermath. Oh, the golden goal aftermath. Our boy, Jack Hughes, just a monstrous megastar at this point. What a crazy time I'm sure it's been for him. I'll get into that in a bit as well. Deadline, all that stuff. Curious to see what you guys are thinking. But we start off with the Jack Hughes stuff. I mean, this guy has been everywhere, talking to everyone over the past week or so. And the first one was Good Morning America. Him and his brother Quinn, there they are via, the phone, FaceTime, Zoom, whatever it is. Good Morning America was the first stop for both Jack and Quinn, showing off those beautiful gold medals. Love to see any hockey guys really getting the major media spotlight. It doesn't happen for hockey players all too often at all. And obviously, given the gravity of an Olympic golden goal, totally nuts. Jack Hughes, I think I heard the stat, one of a few NHL players with 1 million. Again, I don't care about any of this stuff, but it's, something worth mentioning in terms of the popularity of the sport and hockey and all that. I think there's only 3 active NHL players with over 1 million Instagram followers, and Jack Hughes is now one of them. He's crossed over to mainstream, and it's crazy to see. Crazy to see our boy growing up before our very eyes. I'll get into that in a minute as well. And then he stopped on McAfee. If you have not seen the Jack Hughes on Pat McAfee show in its entirety, I implore you, after this live, if you listen to nothing else I have to say, after this live concludes, there's 2 things you should watch immediately tonight before you put your head on your pillow and go to bed. Before you get those hours of sleep you need to watch Jack Hughes on the Pat McAfee show. I think it's about 45 minutes. And then the other thing you need to watch is the latest episode of Wingmen podcast, Matthew and Brady Tkachuk's podcast. Unbelievable stories from their time at the Olympics and the Olympic Village and all that. Love to see all of these kind of things coming out to the forefront in the digital age. When I was a kid, we didn't have this. We got little clippings in the newspaper, and you did not get the level of, I don't know if you want to call it storytelling or coverage, whatever you want to call it, content, whatever. In this age now, we have the blessings of all these crazy things, but this Jack interview on Pat McAfee is certainly one of my all-time favorite Devils interviews of all time, and I'll get into more of that in a bit as well. But you need to see that. You need to see Wingmen with Matthew and Brady Tkachuk. Shout out to those guys. What a podcast. What players. What a team. What a team. Then this one got a lot of people pissed off because people want to cry about everything these days. Matt Rife, super famous comedian, kind of one of the it guys at the moment on the comedy scene, was doing a show at Prudential Center. He had on the Jack Hughes Devils jersey, and then Jack FaceTimed him. And he shared the crap with the crowd. The FaceTime. And then on the Whirlwind Tour, Saturday Night Live with Hillary Knight and Megan Keller from the women's team. Gold for both. Men's and women's both bring home gold. You love to see it. This was another thing that, people talk, all the stuff afterwards has been kind of wild with all these different people wanting to be up in arms. But this is a funny little bit, I thought, at the beginning of SNL. This is that guy, a guy from some show that I'm not too familiar with. I've heard some things about it. But there they are. The brothers Hughes with Hillary Knight, Megan Keller, two golden goal hockey playing kids up there living out their dreams on Saturday Night Live. And then tonight, obviously, on Jimmy Fallon. Very curious to see Jack on Fallon. That's going to be a really good one. And again, in terms of even just the fact, totally dismissing that he's our guy on the Devils, I don't remember ever seeing a hockey player on Jimmy Fallon, period, or Saturday Night Live. I think they showed, I saw somewhere online, I think they said the last time a hockey player was on Saturday Night Live was Brett Hull like 30 years ago or something insane. But to see Jack making the rounds, good for him. This is all good stuff for his brand, the New Jersey Devils, for the National Hockey League, obviously, the sport of hockey, international hockey, Team USA, yada, 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 Jack Hughes, all over the place. But tonight on Fallon with some interesting guests, Nicole Kidman. I'm intrigued by Nicole Kidman for sure. She's been an A-lister for damn near my whole life. And Chef Mario Carbone, one of my favorite restaurants in New York City. Carbone, highly recommend it. Super hard to get a reservation, but if you're diligent, you could get them. Mario Carbone, and then Luke Thompson, who I'm not really sure who that is. But we got Nicole Kidman, the Hughes brothers with Hillary Knight, and Chef Mario Carbone. I'm excited for all that. This got posted earlier. This, obviously, Fallon is not live. Unlike Saturday Night Live, Fallon is taped in the afternoon. So there are the brothers Hughes, Jack and Quinn with Hillary Knight, I guess, backstage at the Jimmy Fallon. In other New Jersey Devils news today, they signed Melovsky to a 2-year entry level. The New Jersey Devils announced today that the team has signed forward Matthias Melovsky to a 2-year entry-level contract starting in 26-27. The announcement was made by Fitz. Melovsky, 21, is currently on a 1-year, one-way AHL contract, playing in his first professional season in North America. The 6'1", 190-pound forward has recorded 13 points, 3 goals, 10 assists in 35 games with New Jersey's AHL affiliate in Utica. Blah, 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 blah. Melovsky, probably a guy that I will say has a very, very good chance of starting with the big club next season. And he's shown flashes throughout, training camp and the rookie tournament in Buffalo. He's got some promise. One of our few probably guys that are remotely NHL ready. And obviously, I think the team thinks so as well when they signed him to the entry level. I would expect him to be on the opening day roster next year for sure, especially with we're probably going to get rid of at least a couple guys at the deadline. And if not, definitely in the summer. So there's going to be spots. Definitely going to be some spots. And I think Melovsky is a guy that has a very, very good chance to make the New Jersey Devils coming out of training camp. And in my interview with Jakob Malik, promising goaltending prospect currently in Utica, when I asked Jakob Malik what forward impressed him the most at rookie camp, he did say Matthias Melovsky. That was his answer. But we'll see. There's a lot of uncertainty surrounding this team heading into the deadline. Obviously, then we're going to have the offseason. The fact that, Fitz is going to be here for the deadline and handling the deadline. A lot of people speculating what that means. And like I told you guys, I firmly believe he's going to come back next year. I think it's 50-50 at best that he's not brought back. But it seems like for whatever reason, this man is absolutely bulletproof and has job security that the common man could only dream of having. Despite being terrible at the job, with the terrible results to go with it, this man is probably going to be back. I don't even know what to say anymore. I think there's a lot of moves a lot of us want to see be made. I'm not expecting any big acquisitions whatsoever at the deadline. I think if anything, that'll be the summer, but I think we're going to be selling off some pieces for sure at the deadline. I'll get into all that a little bit more in a few minutes, but circling back on our boy Jack. I did say, and many of you will recall, before the Olympics, that the experience guys get during an Olympic Games for 3 weeks, being with all these guys, across the country and playing in this best on best tournament. I did think it would serve him well in terms of, maturing on and off the ice. When you're around guys at this level and living with them for 3 weeks, it's a totally different animal than anything he's used to. And I did say going into that I thought that this could be very beneficial to him and in ways that he would benefit from when he came back to the Devils, obviously. Now, no one could have predicted it to go the way it did. Obviously, it's now times a million. But even watching him in these media, all these media appearances, he seems like he's grown up years and years in a matter of a few weeks in Milano, Italy. Like Jack went to Milano, had that experience, had a great tournament even before the gold medal game, scores the golden goal, and now he's kind of broken out of his cocoon, I think. Jack is becoming who he always was, I suppose, but was more guarded. I don't know exactly what it is, but I do think if you've been paying attention, the Jack Hughes we saw on the McAfee Show compared to the Jack Hughes we saw at any point prior to the Olympics, two totally different people. Maybe this was his, boys to men kind of moment. I don't know, but it's great to see. I think he's going to be a great player for this team for years to come. But I did want to play one clip from the McAfee Show because you'll understand in a few minutes. But this was, and just in terms of team and kind of USA and the Americans being focused at the task on hand and going there on an absolute mission. This is a little clip from Pat McAfee. Again, you need to see this whole thing if you have not, but this was a very good little snippet from the Pat McAfee Show a few days ago.
That was a decision made by you guys, I think, right? To kind of buy into everything that is the Olympics. And we bought into who your team was. Did you guys know that? And I heard a lot of conversations from Sully, who obviously was with Pittsburgh for a long time. We thank him for Stanley Cups. Now he's in New York. I heard he gave some great speeches. And were you guys reminding each other, like, hey, our country is like really riding with us right now. Like 5 a.m. West Coast, people were up. 8 a.m., it's like, here we go. Every single moment we were alongside. Did you know that in the moment? And how much do you guys kind of chat about that? Or how much does Sully bring that up?
Yeah, so I have so many points off that one question, but I feel like there's like 5 different points off that.
Do it. Now, granted, and also, final one. Are you getting used to speaking with the busted shit?
With
like,
the list?
Is this going to be you forever? Is this you forever?
It should be. Looks cool.
So regarding Sully, you get into these Olympic teams, it's the big dogs on every team, so you get in that locker room, it's just a bunch of alphas. Like, you got guys that are leaders on their NHL teams and just a lot of big personalities and guys that have exude confidence.
Yeah, I'm choked up too, dude.
Sorry. They exude confidence and they're like the ultimate leaders and just, big dogs, alphas. So I think in that room, there's a ton of belief no matter what happened, so much confidence. And then Sully just kept telling us American swagger, American swagger. That was kind of his motto, was American swagger. And, Billy Guerin, our GM at the start of the tournament, brought us in and said, whatever it takes. Doesn't matter if the food's bad at the Village, whatever it takes. Doesn't matter if, the locker room's too small, whatever it takes. Doesn't matter if the ice is bad, whatever it takes. And with that and Sully just driving home, American swagger, American swagger. We're the best team in this tournament. We're the best team in the world. Our belief just skyrocketed, and obviously, American swagger brought us a gold medal.
Yeah, and I like that we got American swagger.
Yeah.
And I'm.
If you are American and you don't get goosebumps listening to that unbelievable stories from Jack Hughes, again, you have to watch the whole thing. But American swagger, and boy, did that team have American swagger, holding on to survive the Canadian onslaught before Jack got the golden goal. And Billy Guerin talking about whatever it takes. He said, no excuses. The Village, the room might suck. The food might be bad. The ice could be bad. The locker room could be shit. It does not matter. Whatever it takes. Team USA buckled down, brought home the gold. And guys, that was an inspiring moment for me. They don't happen that often. And some have asked about this sort of thing in the past. But certain moments give me the inspiration. And immediately upon getting the goosebumps, listening to the American swagger, whatever it takes mantra coming out of Team USA, your boy knew what he had to do. And what he had to do was get in the lab and bring you the latest and greatest Running with the Devils merch drop, kids. And oh, there it is. American swagger, let's go. American swagger, let's go. Whatever it takes, guys. Whatever it takes. All right, we're back. I got excited. Some of you guys are so negative. The Devils suck, but, Team USA, what a run. I don't understand how some people are so negative about, you can't enjoy USA because the Devils are bad. Like, I don't get it, but American swagger, link in the chat for your American swagger gear. Just catching up on the comments here. Bunch of negative people. Super negative. But there it is. I'll show it one more time. Nowhere near the mic. Multiple colors available and t-shirts. American swagger. Link is in the chat and pinned. Hoodies, multiple colors. We got the nice Canada jersey in the Eagles' mouth. And t-shirts. Link in the chat. Bum 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 bum. Yeah, broke all the stuff, just like the Devils broken. Yeah, for sure. Broken team, guys. But the only thing we could hope is that something changes soon. I don't know what. New GM would be nice, but I don't have that high of hopes. Traveling says it's their lifestyle, negative 24/7. It's a lot of them. A lot of them for sure. Tournament team move on. What, I don't even know what that means. We're never going to stop talking about this. For anyone who's going to get tired of hearing about the Team USA gold medal, it's never going away. Jason said Olympic hockey was some of the best hockey ever. Completely agree. Completely agree. Bungie says Rutgers ice hockey is your 25-26 NECHL champions. That must be the league they play in. What is NECHL? Northeast Collegiate Hockey. Are they still a club team? It does really suck to come back to meaningless hockey. It certainly does. Meaningless hockey. American. Look at this. Oh, wrong side. The USA color running with the Devils logo. American swagger. We have a gold medal. Sorry, Canadian folks. I know there's some of you. Nice designs. Thanks. Taver says the jersey in the mouth. I feel attacked. Listen. We've lost to Canada too many times. For far too long, we've been losing to Canada. And so we're going to celebrate the win. Richard, would love to see, but Min is not winning the cup this year. They can make a deep run, but Quinn will definitely listen to Guerin and extension offer after sacking up. Oh, Quinn is definitely signing in Minnesota. There's no question about it in my head. I don't think there's any chance he's leaving. Bungie said sick hoodie, thanks. Jason, supposedly shopping a lot of the gold medal. I still don't believe we won the gold medal, and I was there. Crazy. I told you guys a while back that I think a lot of these guys could be on the move. I think a lot of guys are probably just like, we need to get the hell out of here and try to win a cup. And even if they have trade protection, they'll gladly waive it to go somewhere where they have a chance to win. I think. The Covey thing right now is not good. Are you talking about Kovacevic? Please don't call Kovacevic Covey. It's been 46 years. It's a huge deal. You ain't got to tell me. That's why I'm rocking my American swagger. This is pretty sick. American swagger with the gold medal. Yeesh. It's a huge deal. It's the first time they've won a gold medal my entire life. I mean, plus some years. Crazy stuff. Why you skip so many comments? I don't know. Because there's a lot of comments. Another gem of an extension by Fitz. I'm not too worried about that because there's going to be defensemen leaving. So, and I just hope we don't trade Nemitz for something kind of subpar. ACHA. Jason, how awesome would it be to come back to a playoff run after that? Yeah, obviously that would have been ideal for the Devils to be in a playoff spot and then riding the high of a golden goal for that. And now it's just, playing in the most competitive, most important games and having that moment to coming to play meaningless NHL regular season games. It's pretty rough. Nick, what do you think the odds are we see a lot of players leave? Dougie, Cotter, Siegs, Mercer, Glass, Dodonov, Bukestad, Glendening, Kovacevic. I don't think any big pieces go, but I think Fitz will sell off some of those other guys. Like Dougie, if Dougie's not going to be here long-term, which I don't see how he would be, then what is the point of not trading him now? You'll get more for him now. I don't know. I think, if they did not trade Dougie at this deadline, I like Dougie a lot. You guys know I'm a Dougie guy, but it just doesn't seem to make sense anymore. Like, this team is terrible. And to keep him for the rest of the season and then trade him in the offseason, I think would be super bizarre. So in my head, it's like, if you're not bringing him back next year, if he's not part of the plan for next season, then you must trade him at the deadline. What is the point of having him for the rest of the season when you could trade him to a team that would get a playoff run, an additional playoff run out of him this year. It doesn't make sense to me. DJ Silva better be active in free agency in the draft, otherwise pina colada filled summer. The free agent list is not great. The free agency list is certainly not great. I do think there could be some names up for trade. But we'll see. I don't know. I have very little confidence in Fitz to do anything, honestly, but I would certainly be, as I've said forever, I would be calling Ottawa and trying to offer something to twist their arm to trade Brady Tkachuk here. I would trade a ton of things for Brady Tkachuk. And with the first round pick the Devils are going to have this year is going to be a pretty high one. That pick plus some other things, you could be in the mix if he's on the move. But I don't know. I can't see it happening. And likewise with Austin Matthews, I'd go down the list. He wasn't a guy I originally had on my radar, but given how things are playing out in Toronto, like he probably wants the hell out of there too. I'm calling all these GMs and seeing what's up. Can I force a guy like that here? I mean, that would be crazy too. Obviously, Brady's my number one, but Sherry Ace would happen to vlog 17 and 18, saw them up, went to watch them, they were gone. So it's so annoying. They were up, and I didn't realize these weren't even at games either, but where I was talking to people in the background, there is some of their artwork, and like they could come after you for that. And so I saw it, and they're all going to go back up eventually, and I might edit them differently, but I have to edit out the Olympic artwork because I just can't deal with the stuff that comes along with it. And it wasn't like, it was totally in the background too, but it's just so crazy. Their stuff was everywhere, and it was almost impossible to film anything without it being there. John said, maybe if we had a few Canadian players, we wouldn't suck. I'm a big fan of the Canadians. The Canadian players, not Team Canada, but Canadian players, they've been interwoven with the New Jersey Devils' success from decades ago. I mean, you look at any of the good Devils teams, tons of Canadians. Obviously, 3 of the greatest New Jersey Devils players of all time are all Canadian. The great Martin Brodeur, Scott Stevens, Scott Niedermayer, all Canadian. My man, Mr. Devil, Kenny Danico, Canadian. I mean, we just had so many. Jason Arnott's a Canadian, Colin White. I mean, you could just go up and down the list of guys over the years, and just tons and tons of Canadians. And I've always liked to have them on the roster. It seems like we haven't had a bunch for a while. Tavris, I love it, man. I feel like Canadians wouldn't have been as happy as you guys and wouldn't have been the same size of an impact, but that's just in my eyes. I mean, the Canadians would be happy. Are you talking about the Olympics? But they've won so often and so many times that it can't be the same. It just can't be. Totally different. Cape Doyle with meaningless games against the Rangers coming out. Nice work by the league schedule makers. Yeah, ridiculous. We said this in the summer when the schedule came out. To not have the Devils and Rangers play each other till March 7th is absolutely criminal. Absolutely criminal, and that should never happen. But yeah, they're playing for pride only. No playoff implications in that one. And a lot of people thought that it could be big games for the standings, but no, it's for the standings for the lottery draft. Robbie's bench toss. Apparently it's a buyer's market, so get ready for that Fitzy excuse when we do nothing. That would be terrible. I mean, there's certain guys that just have to go no matter what. So it doesn't really matter what the return is. It's a wrap. Richard, mock draft has this beast Ethan Belchitz going to Calgary. I saw one report 6'5", 195, and another at 220. Could use a body/unicorn like that. I think that's the guy Tosh has been talking about. It's way too early to for me to start deep diving into all the draft stuff. Eventually I'll get there, but I'm still just kind of riding out this regular season and whatever else we have to deal with. But I like big boys. I like big boys, and we need some more of them. So bring in some size. Bungie says, my fault. ACHA is equivalent to D3. Okay. That makes a little more sense. DJ Silva, Dougie better be gone strictly for the cap. I love him as a personality and a player, but $9 million is just way too much. honestly, in the new cap world, it's really not that crazy. But yeah, the Devils could spend that money better elsewhere. And so obviously, it's a business. John T says, give me more Canadian players and less Swiss players, please. Brutal. Collect records. Apparently, Elliot Friedman said almost all the D was up for grabs except Luke Pesci and Nemitz. I don't believe that Nemitz is not available either. But yeah, I said a few weeks ago I wouldn't be shocked, if Dilly gets dealt to a contender, and I hope for his sake that he does. I mean, Dilly's such a solid dude. Could definitely help a playoff team. It sucks that he came here to try to win a cup, and this is where we are. I mean, it's just really unfortunate for him, and I hope that he does get to a destination where he will have a chance to legitimately win one, because it's just not going to happen here. Kovacevic has trade protection too, but who knows? If you could send these guys to a place they want to go. I like Kovacevic too, but we just have so many defensemen, and then obviously Seamus Casey and Edwards are in the wings. Salayev probably still maybe a couple years away in the AHL, but we have D. Nick, I like Dougie a lot too. Be sad to see him go. He deserved better, so I'm happy he would get that elsewhere. You would think. Jason said Kobe's not even a Hall of Famer. He can't have the nickname. It's not like the LT nickname. It's not the same as LT, but I don't know. It doesn't feel right to me. I'll never call Kovacevic Kobe. Art W. If Markstrom is in net next year, the results will be exactly the same. He's going to be in net next year for at least some games for sure. Obviously, that's a given. But I mean, the story of this season, you could point to some goaltending poor performances and stuff, but the story of this season is the inability to score. And so it's hard for me to, like, in this delusional world I'm conjuring up in my head right now, there is a world where the team could be a playoff team with Markstrom. I know it's going to sound crazy to many people, but, some of those games probably were amplified by the fact that we just can't score goals at all. Like, at all. No goals to be had. We scored, one goal or got shut out like 30-something times? I mean, that's disgusting. Completely disgusting. I do think there's a chance that we see a slightly better Markstrom next season. I mean, that's all we could hope for. But a much improved offensive output from this team. They just cannot score. And so no matter who we had in net this year, we were going to suck. I mean, that's just, you can't win games scoring one goal. Richie, Ace, my wife's still recovering from knee replacement. Physical therapy. Watch all your vlogs from Italy. You were making her belly laugh and she wants to adopt you. LOL. Thanks for keeping her laughing. PT's rough. Yeah, tell your wife I said I hope she feels better soon. Keep up that PT. And it's incredible what the human body can do with therapy and all these different things the medical professionals come up with. Make it back. Make it back, man. I miss Italy so much. So much. Jason, no, I don't care if we have dudes from Mars, just get good hockey players. I'm with you too. But typically the Canadians are a little bit more rough and tumble kind of bred for this. We've kind of went in that Euro direction as of late, and you've seen the results. So Traveling Devil, NHL wants better times and rights to highlights if they're going to continue sending players to the Olympics. Oh, we talked about this, Traveling. I think it's completely ridiculous that the league can't post anything. They were taking reporter stuff down. Like, it's totally psychotic. I do hope that the next time, I guess 2030, that's probably already negotiated. But the next time they have to negotiate for NHL participation in the Olympics, I hope that the NHL hammers the IOC and does not let them get away with the complete garbage they've been getting away with as of late and just locking down everything. Like, that's not how you grow the game at all. That's not how you grow the sport, making everything impossible to find and taking stuff. That's just ridiculous. Jason, Devils, Rangers, McKenna Bowl. A lot of people have said they don't necessarily know if they would take McKenna number one. I haven't dove into that whole world as of yet. Richie, I love the guy, but do you think the Devils will give Dilly an option to go to a contender at the trade deadline? It would kill me, but I'd understand if he wanted a cup shot. Yeah, I just talked about that a couple minutes ago. I could totally see him being gone. For sure. Jason, Dougie and Mercer should easily be traded. I'm very curious to know what their plan is for Mercer. I mean, serviceable player. I thought, he had a great hot start. I thought he was going to take that next step. Never happened. The whole team struggled, but 1 year left after this one at $4 million, he could be a nice piece for a contending team as well. I'd be curious to know what the Devils' thoughts are on him long-term, but I could totally see him being traded as well. John T. Brady T will end up a Panther or a Bolt. Serious GMs make serious moves. I don't know if he's going to be a Panther now, but I do have a bad feeling that eventually he goes to the Panthers, and he's going to fit in. He's going to fit in beautifully there, perfectly. Tavers, how much has your view on trading Jack changed since the Olympics? I never wanted to trade Jack. So in terms of trading him, it didn't change at all, because my theory or my motto, whatever you want to call it, is always there is no such thing as untradeable players. If there's a good trade to improve your team to be made, then I would do it. Now, what that looks like in terms of Jack Hughes, you'd have to get something very significant back, obviously. But I never wanted to trade him. I've told people that have taught. There's some crazy people here that have suggested trading him going back like 2 years ago, and I told them since then and up until now that the team was never going to trade him. And now the fact that he scored the golden goal, you could really forget about it. This is the most marketable hockey player on the planet. He was never getting traded before this, and now he certainly is not being traded. So for people to even talk about it, it's just a waste of time. Robbie's bench toss. Sign me up for Malhotra if McKenna, Stenberg, Belchitz are off the board by our pick. Is it Manny Malhotra's kid? Former New York, or at least former one-time New York Ranger. Panthers are finished for this season. They'll be back. Bonzo, Ace, thanks for the live stream today. It's a good distraction for me since I lost my dear wife Saturday night. Oh, man. After a long illness. Bonzo, I'm so sorry to hear that, man. Man. Sorry to hear. I hope that you find some comfort in whatever it is that, gives you comfort. I don't even know what to say to something like that. I wasn't expecting, got hit with a bombshell in the middle of the live. But yeah, Bonzo, I'm really, really sorry to hear that. Jay Snow, Kobe's been awful this year. I don't see anyone trading for him. Someone would trade for him. Right-handed D-man, big body. Someone would take him for sure. John says, Jack, Bratt, Nemitz in a first for Brady and Cousins. Never happening. Jack is this. It's just completely crazy. It's not happening. Jay Snow says, Yegorov looking, starting to look good again, even behind a bad BU team. Yeah, they're struggling this year. I haven't watched any, but I've been reading up a little bit on them. Would love to see him eventually, when the time is right, be the next franchise goaltender for the New Jersey Devils. Would be nice. We haven't had a true franchise goalie in forever. We'll see. My man Jakub Malik is going to be in the mix as well. John Lopez, the problem is that the regular season is too long. If the season ended at Canadian Thanksgiving, the Cup awarded by Christmas would be great. Yeah. 3 month season champions. Even then, with the problems happened way before then. Chicago Cut was obviously the biggest one, but even before Jack went down, there were signs of, trouble in paradise, if you will, before that. But that was, to me, this season will be defined by, it's crazy. This season will be defined by Chicago Cut and the golden goal. The tale of two extremes. One of the worst things that could ever happen and one of the best things that could ever happen. Both happened to Jack Hughes. Sherry, watching Jack's gold-winning goal was unfreaking believable. I watched the gold medal game 46 years ago with my family, which was insane. As a Devils fan, this was a level up. Crazy. Having a Devil player score a golden goal, completely nuts. Completely nuts. But this is American swagger. Golden goal. American swagger. Link pinned in the chat. It's got the, what do we got on the back? Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. USA Hockey is back on top. Unbelievable stuff. American swagger gear. Link pinned in the chat. Jason, no, they got to break up this core. They can't keep running this back. I've said that for a little bit now. I think you have to at least trade one of them. I just don't see in what planet you could believe that they're going to be able to get it done. Again, without, I do think as a group they could if you were able to bring in like 2 other big pieces. But with the money they're making in the cap, like I just can't see you bringing in big impact pieces with all of them still being here. But we'll see. Jay Snow, I definitely dangle Bratt this offseason. He's a playmaker. We need more of a shooter with some size. Yeah, a big, scritty winger for Jack Hughes. Someone like Tage Thompson, Brady. No new developments here. The same guys that we wanted before, we want even more now. But I do think Jack needs a legitimate winger that could score. Even, again, when we traded to Foley, it was never replaced. And to try to just keep plugging guys in there is not going to get it done. Matthew, is it the IOC or NBC that's locking down all the Olympic media stuff? The IOC. It's the IOC that does it. McKenna's been really good lately. I think he goes number 1. He didn't have like an 8-point night or something. Traveling, first day back to work was depressing. Oh, you're telling me. I know the feeling, that post-Milano Olympics crash. The Kane, there isn't anything close to comparable for someone like Jack Hughes. I mean, in terms of current players, there certainly are, but they're not going to be guys that are on the block, like other huge superstar players. Stick things, we had to wait until March to play the Rangers, and now that it's here, I honestly don't care. We both suck. Season's already gone. Fitzgerald has sucked the life out of the Hudson River rivalry. Well, Drury has too, but it's brutal. Man, you guys are super chatty. I thought I got closer to the it's a terrible thing by the schedule makers. David Chime says Friedman says he's near certain Brady T is not being dealt. Said same thing about Matthews, another rumor. No, I don't think they will be this season, but I could see it in the summer. I could certainly see it. Especially if one of them's like, just get me out of here. Richie, putting in a mild apology deposit. I was getting to the point where I wanted to move Jack, but I honestly think he grew up being around veterans winners, so I'm eating a bit of crow. Yeah, I think he grew up years. He matured years in a few weeks in Italy. I think it's remarkable to see, and that's what I was telling everybody before the Olympic Games. I did tell you, these are great moments for players to learn a lot and take a lot away from the whole experience, and no one has probably ever done that to the level that Jack Hughes has. Robbie's bench loss. He's basically another Heischer Zajac-like two-way Canadian center with some offensive pop. I'll take it. I'm sold. Sold. Army, thoughts on the Czech kid we just signed? You're talking about Melovsky. I'm not expecting him to be like a world beater, but I think he could be a serviceable NHL player next year. And I think with the state of where this team is, they're probably going to, I mean, really any team, you want at least a few guys that are contributing on entry-level contracts. It would be nice. Grits was doing that for a little bit, but yeah, this whole team, this whole season is just completely crazy. It's just so crazy. Bungie Boris, the only way Jack moves is either unrestricted free agency, unlikely in my opinion, or if he pushes for a trade. They don't got to trade him though, even if he does push for one. This is all. There's not going to be any trade, guys. Let's be real. It was crazy to talk about before. It's even more crazy to talk about now, and it's not happening. So everyone just calm down. And to want to trade him would be crazy, in my opinion. Markstrom is the worst in the entire NHL. Numbers don't lie. How can you say it wouldn't matter who's a net? Literally anyone else would be better. Goalie is the most important position. Because the team did not score goals, sir. That's why. I'm not debating that he played horribly. No one's debating that. But when you score 1 goal a night, it doesn't matter if you give up 2 or if you give up 6. You're still losing the game. Stickfix, let's look back at it's way too early for this. Devils highs and lows of the 25-26 season. Good, Nemo hat trick. The first 10 games of the Olympics. Bad, everything else. Travelin says, have you seen Helly's stats during the Olympics? Crazy numbers. Yeah, I did. They're completely insane. Stickfix this year had one of the highest highs and the lowest lows, but the highest high isn't even really for the Devils, and the average is so low. 100%. Unrelated for the most part, but, without that, I'm still down in the dumps, but USA Hockey gave me a little bump. Without that, it'd be even worse. Fitzgerald is unsinkable. American swagger. That's right, Stickfigs. American swagger. You guys got to watch that whole McAfee interview. Is insane. Really good stuff. Maria says Helly stats were superhuman. Yeah, Fitz blew that one too. When that rumor came up a few summers ago, I was super jacked. I really wanted it to happen. but did not. Stick figs that 10 seconds of Mike Sullivan has lived in my head rent-free for the past week. Bungie says, here's a thought, move Timo to Jack's line. They've tried it so many times, man. It just doesn't work for whatever reason. I don't know. But we need it. I would like to bring in some more bulls, maybe get Timo a little fired up, bring in some animals to play with him. Army says we need a regime change. Absolutely. Clean out the entire front office minus Marty. I know a lot of you are implicating Marty in the crimes of this administration, but I certainly will never be one of those people. Clean out the entire front office, but Marty stays for as long as Marty wants. Stick Figs, legitimate question. How do you feel about JT Miller and Vincent Trocheck now? Obviously, they're Rangers, but solid guys in my book. You helped bring a gold medal back to the country. And if I'm being honest, I do like rooting for the underdog a little bit. A lot of people were smack talking Billy G's roster and saying, all these other guys should have made it over both of these fellas. Killed some big penalties and really were crucial in the team winning. You need to have a complete team. I mean, I'll always hate them when they're playing for the Rangers. I think Trocheck's definitely getting traded out of New York any day now. Taver says, don't bring up losing to Foley. That was some bad news. I had to do it at the time. Art says another big problem. There's no alpha on this team. It's all figure skaters. To some extent, I agree with that. That's why I've wanted Brady so badly for so long. A guy like Brady would be that's a culture shifting move. Bunch said same. I was pretty down on the kid. Realized after the last 2 weeks I was wrong about Jack. Well, I mean, the tournament that he had in that moment will definitely change a lot of people's minds, and I think that's kind of happening in real time right now. Traveling Jack is alpha, but doesn't have the players that can keep up with him. David chimes on Matthews. Friedman said the Leafs asked him if he wants to stay, even if they retool, and he said yes. Damn. That's unfortunate. Devils Holic says this team is not serious. I mean, it seems like the owners are not. Jay Snow, love Jack and everything he's done, but he can't rest on this Olympic goal. He needs to have a really good offseason. Well, what does that look like to you? Does that involve the Shimo Nemitz workout plan? I would love to see it. But I don't know. It would be nice to see a little bit beefier Jack come back. Devil's Army says Keefe and Fitz Dumb and Dumber. Man. Keefe got a bad deal. Stick Figs, winning cures all. Jack Hughes, one on the highest of stages. I was on the fence before. Now I want to give him a lifelong contract with the Fitzgerald special, full no move, no trade clause. Yeah, I mean, it'd be great if he stays here his whole career and they could put a team around him that could compete. It hasn't happened yet. It's pretty gutting, but I do think that he can be a winner, in the NHL, but he's not going to be able to do it on his own. That's the one thing I think a lot of people will agree with, and maybe some will disagree, but you saw on Team USA, he had other guys around him. That's a loaded team. Like, you're never going to play on an NHL team like that, but they got to get him some long-term proper line mates. Paul Mystic says, Quinn loves Minnie so much he'd rather spend his career there than play for the Cup with his brothers. I mean, he'll have the choice. I mean, play for the Cup in New Jersey, Paul Mystic? Are you drunk right now? The Wild are so much closer to a Cup than the Devils, it's not even funny. I mean, play for the Cup with his brothers. What about this team makes you believe they're going to be playing for a Cup anytime soon, outside of just pure hope? Maria said Jack is the alpha and the omega. Samuel, hearing talk on signing players for $18-19 million a year, even with today's cap, how do you field a competitive team? I don't know. That's a huge percentage of the cap, but there's not many guys that I think would even command or would even try to command a price like that. Who's getting $18-19 million? Rendich says, how can we blame Marky Allen? Are they expected to post shutouts every game for us to win? That's kind of what I was just talking about before, right? Like, Markstrom has not been good this year, but when we don't score goals, it doesn't even matter. That's to my point. Like, when you're scoring one goal, whether you lose 2-1 or 5-1, it doesn't matter. You're scoring one goal a game. You're not going to win games like that. Richie says, you and I talked about Stammer 8 to 10 weeks ago. I know it's a huge nut money-wise, but after the season, he could be a major cog in teaching them how to win. Funny you bring that up, Richie. And it would be annoying in a sense because I do think that if we got Stammer a few months ago, that could have helped a lot of things. But here we are. I would still take Stammer now. I don't want to pay that $8 million. Like, I would give them extra stuff for them to retain. I don't know if I would do the $8 million. the full salary. But if there's retention involved, I'm still all about getting Stammer. And it would just be more annoying that we didn't get him for this season, but I'd still take him. Brodeur's the main culprit. Get him out. Oh, dude, you're just the worst fan on the planet. Devils Army for life. Problem with Marty in the front office is that as long as he's here, Rogalski will be here too. And again, people want to talk about this. I'm not blaming the goaltending coach for any of this either. I think people give way too much credit or blame sometimes to these coaches. Like, what is Rogalski doing that's making some of the things we've seen happen? I just can't buy it. And I understand the track record's not good, and I wouldn't be gutted if they fired him. But if I'm being honest, I'm not going to sit here and be like, this team sucks because of Rogalski. That's insane. It's insane. We can't score goals. Primarily the main issue. So have we had goaltending struggles? Sure. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, Rogalski's the guy to blame for all this. It's crazy. David Chime says 100% PK in the Olympics is sick and a huge reason for gold. Absolutely. What was it? 18 for 18? Billy G knew exactly what he was doing, folks. All the people talking smack on Billy G's roster, and he goes out there and fields the team he wants. John says, give me a break. McDavid, Love's back getting jacked, score a 3-on-3 goal. Now he's a god. Nonsense. No 3-on-3 in the NHL playoffs. Oh, dude, you're a miserable person. I didn't say it was a god, but he scored one of the biggest goals in the history of the sport. You're just going to pretend like it's no big deal? Like, go ahead. You don't have to credit it or whatever, but the entire planet is, because it's a huge moment. Bonzo says Hamilton has played better of late, but they need to trade him now. I completely agree with that. I like Dougie, but it's time. Jason, I want to see Jack get out of the season healthy and into the gym. That's been his one knock, because he doesn't spend time in the gym in the offseason. Everything's ice work. Yeah, I want everybody to get bigger, or at least the guys that are, I would consider somewhat undersized, and that's a lot of them. I do think a slightly beefier Jack would be a nice thing. Tavares says Jack's offseason coming back as big as he sure did this year. Snow, I do think Keefe has something to do with the offense. In his fight, the panic system sucks. Again, I'm not going to kill Keefe either. Like, these guys are getting breakaways and getting stoned all season long. Like, that's not a coaching issue. Could another coach be better for them? Sure. But I'll never be a person who blames Sheldon Keefe for this. David chimes, Dougie could probably get us a second and a mid-tier prospect with no salary retained. That $9 million free cap gets us a top 6 forward next season. I don't know if it will, but it'll $9 million will be a good chunk towards it. Again, new cap era, $9 million now is not $9 million last summer, but it certainly would pay for the overwhelming majority of it. And yeah, I just think that's obviously the most pressing issue right now. We do have solutions on defense. You could always go try to find, a serviceable veteran in a trade or a free agency. I don't think it'd be that difficult to do if you need to. And so I'm completely with you. Free up the money. Travis says Jack tasted championship hockey. It's going to drive him to the NHL to want a cup even more. I hope so. That would be nice. Would love to see that play out that way. Obviously, he did get a taste of winning and playing on a winning team. Now, that is it's not an NHL team. It is a complete dream team of all-stars. But I'm sure he doesn't want to be playing in meaningless games. And for the rest of the season, he is going to be playing in meaningless games. JP, Olympic curling seems like the kind of game Mr. Miyagi would have invented to trick Daniel into sweeping his floors. Yeah, that's hilarious and so random, but that is pretty funny. My nephews the other day were watching, I guess, the new series or whatever. I saw a couple minutes of it. It was pretty funny. Snow said if we had a goalie in 24-25, we make the playoffs. You mean 23-24? I completely agree. Yeah, we could score and couldn't keep the puck out of our net. This season, we just can't really do much of anything. But you're talking about 23-24 when we just slowly drowned. after a franchise record-setting season and missed the playoffs. Crazy. Reddit said Jack also put up great numbers given his ice time role in other games, to be fair. Yeah, no doubt. He had a great tournament. Second on the team in points, only to his brother Quinn. Quinn had 8 points, Jack had 7, and he led the team with goals and scored the biggest one in the history of the sport. So I'd say pretty good tournament for Jackie Boy. Bungie says there's just no way to convince some people there's a silver lining to these things. And listen, I hate silver linings and moral victories and all of these things, but like I can't just live and dwell in constant negativity. That's what some of these people want to do. And like, good for you. You know, I can't, I'm already have to be negative more than I want to be just because the where we're at right now. But I don't want to, you know, be more negative than necessary. Like some of these people just, it seems like they just really want to just complain and say how bad everyone and everything is. And it's like, it's just exhausting at some point. Like, can you be positive at all? Can you be positive at all? Even a little bit. Just a little bit. A little bit of positivity. Stick Figs, Brodeur is Canadian. Canada came in second. You know who else comes in second? Fitzgerald. Therefore, Marty's behind all of our problems. 30 must go. Yeah, I mean, this is... Oh, man. It's too funny. Yeah, I'm real curious. The people that are expecting like a big acquisition, I don't think it's going to happen at all. Again, I think we're going to be selling pieces off. Hopefully, it is for futures that we could use in deals to bring in, you know, win now pieces. Like, but I could see them trading guys for picks and stuff and drafting with all of it, and then they're going to sell you on. You already know what happens after that, guys. We loaded up all these draft picks, and you know what that means. You know what that means. The future is bright. We have all these picks, all these young kids. Jack's taking the next step, and we got this guy, and now the future is bright. Matthew says 100% PK in Olympics in 4 nations. Turns out 3-time Stanley Cup champion and USA Hockey Hall of Famer knows more about hockey than dudes on the internet who can't skate. Shocker. Love Billy G. So happy for him. Such vindication and just such an ultimate just like, to all the people that were smack talking Billy G. Absolutely loved it. I gassed them up about this on the streets. I got to talk to Billy for a few minutes the night after they won. What a great moment on my trip. I mean, when I look back on my trip, there were so many epic moments aside from at the games. Obviously, being at the game, the gold medal game, and watching Jack score a golden goal, all-time memory of life. Like, there's not going to be many moments that are more exciting than that. But seeing Billy Guerin running into him randomly the night after they won and being able to shoot the shit with him in the street was phenomenal stuff. Phenomenal stuff. Jay Snow, we're 27th, I think, in high danger chances created. That's brutal, so it's not just finishing. Yeah, but you know what? When they don't score on breakaways consistently and can't score, like, I get it. People want to look at all the fancy stats and stuff, and it supports that, you know, Keefe is a bum and blah, 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 but, like, they're just not getting it done. Samuel, Jake Allen's save percentage is 907, 908 this year. Didn't help a damn bit. Feeling a bit sorry for him. Yeah, a lot of great performances wasted. Jake Allen outings wasted by this team, but that's the story of the season. Yo Holmes says, booze face or bust? Is it bust? Jay Snow, basically rack up a ton of shots that are low danger. Yeah, perimeter garbage shots. Rendich, the real big question mark is what is wrong with Bratt this year? A lot of people's theory is that after Ovechkin trucked them that time, he was never the same. And there could be something there. Who knows? Maybe it's all mental. I have no idea. But if he's back next season, he needs to have a big rebound because this year was terrible. Stickfigs, hit the gym. Picks where it didn't happen. I don't trust these guys anymore. It's funny that a lot of people were making fun of people that said stuff like that, but It is interesting. I think there's tons of guys that do these crazy off-season workouts that don't post photos of it and stuff. But I understand people like seeing it. And we saw Nemo getting jacked. It was crazy. Tavares, I was under the impression we weren't able to get rid of Dougie easily with the unrestricted. I don't know. Do you mean the move clause? Probably. I think you meant the no move clause. He has a list of 10 teams that are pre-approved for him to get dealt to, and he would consider other ones, according to his agent, as of a couple months ago. So there are some barriers or roadblocks to trading him. It's not like you could just send him wherever you want, but there's certainly a way to deal him for sure. Richie, I get tired of hearing the system crap. At some point, players this talented have to have the character and pride to execute and put pucks in the net. It's not the system. Find the twine. And again, it's not the best system for the players, but I'm never going to say that Keefe and his system are the reason why this season has been so bad. Like, I will never do that. I will say, yeah, sure. Could there be other coaches that are better suited for this group? Absolutely, there could be. But that doesn't mean that this season is Keefe's fault. Snow, the Fitz waits way too long to address problems. Yeah, of course. Hope and wish. Hope and wish. Trade. Remember when I said Luke will never be a 50-point player? My prediction. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Your prediction is getting better and better. You are an idiot. The kid has had injuries. We just re-signed him this past offseason. Like, your prediction's getting better and better. You're proclaiming a victory that he's never going to be a 50-point player the year after he signs his long-term deal. Like, what a clown. This is why no one likes you. Shit like this. This, in a nutshell, is why nobody likes you. Who writes something like that? I'm outraged. Travis said, yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. Completely crazy. Oh, man. John T. coming with the heat. He said, Brack got engaged. Enough said. Explains everything. Ooh. I don't think that there's anything to that, but I think it's funny that you think it. Bonzo, 88 watching, only 28 likes. Hit the thumbs up. Thanks. Hit the thumbs up. Yo, Holmes says, just wait till we dump Dougie for half a bag of Doritos. I don't think Fitz will do that. I think he'll get something back. Bright future, he says, theoretical cup. Justin Smith says, hey, what's going on, Justin? Jay Snow, I was just listening to an interview on TSN talking about Brady and Matthews could definitely want out after this year. I totally, regardless of people talking about it or not, just, seeing what's going on, it only makes sense, right? And I would love either one of them. Obviously, Brady's my guy, but I'd love Matthews too. Go pluck one of these guys from Canada and bring them back home. Bring them back so that they can show off that American swagger to an American crowd. American swagger merch. Link in the chat. Link in the chat. Billy Guerin, first Hispanic NHLer. Is the Billy meeting in a vlog? It's not. It is not in a vlog. Justin said this team couldn't score on a soccer goal. That's pretty brutal. I think they could score on a soccer goal, but is the season over? Not soon enough. Justin, Ace, do you think the Devils move Nico Dawes at the deadline? Probably not. I mean, what are you getting for him? That's a whole nother weird one. Another goalie kind of mismanaged by the organization, I think, and probably messed up his development, and he probably hates us now. I mean, it is what it is. No one saw Jake Allen signing that deal, and that kind of threw a monkey wrench into everything. I did in the summer fully believe that this year's tandem was going to be Markey and Nico Dawes. I never saw Allen doing what he did, but David says, who admits mistakes? Tons of players do. Keefe and Fitz never do. I won't blame players. I mean, I think there's blame to go around here, but I'm certainly not blaming Keefe as much as Fitz or the I'm not blaming Keefe as much as Fitz or the players. They're the most guilty, in my opinion. Bungie says Luke is in like year 3. Yeah. Justin, aging past their prime goaltenders is part of the problem. I mean, Jake Allen hasn't been. Jake Allen hasn't been at all. They just can't score goals. But I do think Keefe probably will get canned after this year. And if Fitz is allowed to stay, it'd be crazy. Rendich, if Fitz snagged Brady, does he keep his job in the eyes of the fans? I'm not a Fitz defender, just wondering. To some fans, it would be. I would still want him fired. Even if he got Brady, I fully would still want him fired. Absolutely. Trading for Brady does not erase everything that happened or did not happen during his time here. But a lot of people would say, all is well now. I'm not one of them. Yeah, Billy Guerin, 1995 Stanley Cup champion with our beloved New Jersey Devils. Absolute dog. We haven't had any guys like him in quite some time. One of my favorite types of players for the way he played and everything. Yeah, mid-90s. All right, guys, that's it. I'm done. I got stuff to do. Trade deadline coming up. I'm probably going to do a live that day just to be disappointed. But, I mean, trade deadline when you're out of the playoffs is totally different than when you're hoping to get guys for a playoff run. What's going on, Evan? But, folks, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully we pick up some assets for the guys that we deal away. Hopefully we see some assets that we can trade for win now pieces. But American swagger, folks. American swagger. Sullivan told him, American swagger. I'll show you the back. Link in the chat. Go on the site. Huh? Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Whatever it takes. Billy Guerin told him, whatever it takes, go get that gold medal. We got games tomorrow and another back-to-back. This schedule is crazy. The players must hate it. That's the one bad thing about the Olympics. In Olympic years, they should figure out how to avoid this however they could. But tomorrow, hosting the Panthers. Wednesday, hosting the Leafs. USA guys coming in. We got Matthew Tkachuk coming to town, and then we got Austin Matthews. That's it, guys. Back tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Matthew Tkachuk should definitely get a nice ovation from the Rock crowd, though. That's it. American swagger, folks. Link in the chat. And in the description, I guess, because this is going to be, there's not going to be any more chat. So link in description. Schaefer's a beast. I see you guys talking about the Islanders. Matthew Schaefer, man, he might break the record for most goals by a rookie defenseman. Phenomenal stuff. Thank you all for watching. I love you all. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go. Devils.